Hi, I'm Chris Smith. I am a web geek. My day job is a site architect for Xerox.com. I am also a transportation geek, serving on the Planning Commission and the Board of Portland Streetcar. At the confluence of those two geekdoms is the Transit Appliance Project. So our goal is to take what you probably all have on your smartphones, the experience of finding out when the next bus or the next train is coming, and flip the use case. So for the people who don't have a smartphone, don't want to download the app, we're going to put this out in the real physical world where they're going to trip over it. This has two purposes. It is to market to people that transit is available and easy to use. Once they know that, then it's to make it easy for them to use it. Our motto is display it and they will ride. So in order to put this in every bar and coffee shop and office building lobby in the region, we need to make it cheap. That's the disruptively expensive part of this. This started out as a way to scratch my own itch. I wanted one of these for my home office. And to begin with, the first part of cheap is commodity hardware. So a device came along that made me think I could scratch this itch. This is essentially a smart photo frame, consumer device sold at Best Buy, but it can be hacked to put a web browser on it. That meant that we could build basically a commodity hardware platform that we could then transform into an appliance. We have a second version, which is an Atom PC coupled with the screen of your choice, a little bit more expensive but a bigger display. And we move on to this idea of a JavaScript appliance. And that is the idea that you have a stack of hardware and software that's basically intended, you power it on and it runs a JavaScript application. Why JavaScript? It's great with web services, which are what all these transit apps are based on. And it lets us put a lot of the processing in the client so we don't have to pay for server time to do processing. So we've built two JavaScript appliance stacks, one based on the Chumby platform, which is the open hardware platform behind that photo display that I showed you, and a second one based on top of Debian Linux. They all basically bring up a web browser and phone home to get a JavaScript application to run. The second strategy for making it cheap is other people's servers. So when the appliance powers up, it phones home, it talks to our configuration server in the cloud for a very brief period, seconds, basically to get the commands for what it's supposed to do. And then after that, it engages in a conversation with the transit agency's web servers for days or weeks. So I'm paying for a few seconds. The transit agency is paying for weeks. This is a really good cost equation, which leads us to have no monthly fees to make these work. We leverage other people's networks. They're already there. Every coffee shop and bar already has Wi-Fi. We don't need to pay for networking. The appliance model, it's got to be simple, so it literally has one switch. You just turn it on. That's because our model, the person who's going to take care of this, is an overworked barista. That's who we have to make it easy for. Other ways that we make this inexpensive, sorry, I'm a little bit ahead of myself here. So the next issue we have to deal with is every city you go to has a different smartphone app for this, right? That's because every transit agency has a different web service. This is our configuration screen in the cloud to tell any given appliance which bus stops you want to have show up on the display. So every transit agency's got a different web service. That's a problem. We'd like this to work everywhere. So we have abstracted away all those layers, and we have one basically JSON data structure that represents a transit arrival, and that works in Portland, it works in San Francisco, it works in Boston, it works in New York. So if we take the time to build a display application, then it's going to work everywhere. So we get a return on investment you don't have in the smartphone apps yet. We have demonstration here in the Bay Area with 3 different transit agencies, and we've prototyped other cities as well. The second part is there are lots of different ways to display transit information. What somebody leaving an office building who commutes on the same bus needs every day is really different than what somebody who's visiting a city in a hotel needs to know about a trip they might take. So we want to leave lots of room for people to do different things with that standardized arrival we've developed. So we have an API that you can build a UI around. Successfully deploying this is going to take a whole ecosystem. We need the transit agencies to provide the services. We need the UI designers. We need people to go out and basically sell and install these. So we're working to put together this whole ecosystem. And it's all open source. It's all held by the Portland Transport nonprofit. And the major components are under an Apache 2.0 license. And we are recruiting for the project. So we need JavaScript developers. We need Java developers. We need UI designers, some people who know Linux distros would be helpful, and we need evangelists to go out and position this in the community. So again, display it and they will ride. Thank you very much.